Dear students, in the yesterday's period, we completed amplitude modulation in all respects, including the concept of double sideband, concept of single sideband, and also the concept of vestigial sideband. And we are now aware with the fact that the concept of vestigial sideband is used only for television communication just to reduce the bandwidth and undergo a successful television communication. And today we are going to discuss with one more type of modulation, and that is known as frequency modulation. Friends, frequency modulation is the process in which the frequency of high frequency carrier wave is varied in accordance with that of instantaneous amplitude of the signal to be modulated by keeping amplitude of the carrier wave constant. This means that the frequency of carrier wave changes with the instantaneous amplitude of the signal to be modulated by keeping amplitude of the carrier wave constant, meaning thereby as amplitude remains constant, power in frequency modulated wave will also remains constant. Especially as far as frequency modulation is being considered, when carrier frequency is 0 or when amplitude of modulating signal is 0, the modulated wave possesses the frequency equal to the carrier frequency. But when amplitude of the modulating signal reaches to the positive peak, the frequency of the modulated wave becomes maximum, and that becomes equal to fc plus delta f. Again, when amplitude of the modulating signal becomes equal to 0, the frequency of the modulated wave becomes equal to frequency of the carrier wave. But when modulating signal amplitude reaches to the negative peak, the frequency of the modulated wave becomes minimum, and that is equal to fc minus delta f. And this process repeats throughout the frequency modulation is going to complete. In this particular aspect, the frequency is varying between plus and minus delta f. The delta f is known as frequency deviation. Here almost all power remains constant, but it is transmitted to the sideband. This entire process, to which we can call it as the frequency modulation. This entire modulation aspect is being represented in these particular waveforms. Student friends, this is the signal that represents the modulating signal, which has a low frequency. This is the signal required to be transmitted, whose amplitude is varying from 0 to peak, peak to 0, 0 to minus peak, and then again 0. So the second wave represents here, it is the carrier wave. It possesses the higher frequency. And the third wave form represented here is a frequency modulated wave. As we have explained just till now, when amplitude of the modulating signal is 0, it is 0, the frequency of the modulated wave is equal to the carrier frequency. But when amplitude reaches to the maximum peak, at this particular peak, the modulated wave have got a frequency increased, and that is the maximum, and that's equal to fc plus delta f. But when again amplitude becomes equal to 0, the modulated wave has a frequency equal to carrier wave frequency. But when amplitude of the modulating signal reaches to the negative peak, modulated wave has got a minimum frequency, and that's equal to fc minus delta f. Here it is represented, and the same process is going to be repeated till the entire modulation, frequency modulation that takes place. So this is what we can call it as the frequency modulation. Same it is being described here. Frequency modulation is the process of varying the frequency of high frequency carrier in proportional to the instantaneous amplitude of the modulating signal without varying the amplitude of the carrier wave. Means amplitude of the carrier wave has to remain constant even though frequency of the carrier wave changes with the instantaneous amplitude of the signal to be modulated. As amplitude is constant, power in FM wave is constant. As we have studied in the waveform just now, when modulating signal is 0, modulated frequency is equal to carrier frequency. When modulating signal reaches to the positive peak, the frequency of modulated wave becomes maximum, and that's equal to fc plus delta f. At negative peak of the modulating signal, frequency of the modulated wave becomes minimum, and that's equal to fc minus delta f. Thus, frequency modulation makes the frequency of FM wave to deviate from fc by plus or minus delta f. This delta f is known as deviating frequency or frequency of deviation. During this total process, power does not changes, but part of the carrier power is transmitted to the sideband. So this is what we can call it as the meaning of the frequency modulation. Now let us make its analysis mathematically. Let the modulating signal be represented as Em equal to capital Em cos of omega m into t, where capital Em is peak amplitude of the signal to be modulated. Omega m is the angular velocity of the signal to be modulated. This omega m is equal to 2 pi fm. Let me call this as an equation number 1. Similarly, the carrier wave signal is represented as EC, and that's equal to capital EC sine of omega ct plus theta, where capital EC is the maximum amplitude of the carrier wave. Omega c is the angular velocity of the carrier wave, and that is equal to 2 pi fc. Fc is the carrier frequency. Theta is the initial phase angle, whereas omega ct plus theta is total phase angle, and it is represented by phi I, or it is represented by phi. Thus we can say omega ct plus theta is the total phase angle phi, and theta is the initial phase angle. That's why we can write phi is equal to omega ct plus theta. But by the definition of angular velocity, which is the rate of change of total phase angle phi, therefore omega c can be written as omega c is equal to rate of change of phi with respect to dt. Let me call this as equation number 3. After frequency modulation takes place, what happens is frequency of the high frequency carrier wave changes with the instantaneous change in instantaneous amplitude of the signal to be modulated. Then angular velocity of carrier wave varies in proportional to the instantaneous amplitude of the modulating signal. As angular velocity varies means omega c varies. Omega c varies means 2 pi fc. Fc varies. So to move further, we can say The instantaneous angular velocity after modulation becomes omega I is equal to omega c plus k into Em, where k is the proportionality constant. Em, that is from equation number 1, if you substitute, it is capital Em cos of omega mt, and that's why omega I becomes omega c plus k into capital Em cos of omega mt. Let me call this as equation number 4. This cos of omega mt is going to vary between plus 1 and minus m, provided omega m changes from 0 to 180. So at that particular condition, there will be maximum shift of frequency that takes place from maximum to minimum. So that's why we can say for cos of omega mt plus or minus 1, this is true provided omega m is equal to 0 or omega m is equal to 180 degree. With this particular aspect, the maximum frequency shift that takes place, and hence equation 4 becomes. Equation 4 becomes omega I is equal to omega c plus or minus k into Em, because cos of omega mt turns to be as a plus sign minus 1. But we have the frequency deviation represented by k into Em upon twice pi. Therefore, k into Em is equal to 2 pi delta f. Substituting the value of k times Em equal to 2 pi delta f, equation 5 becomes omega I equal to omega c plus or minus 2 pi delta f cos of omega mt. Let me call this as equation 6. Now let us integrate equation 6 now. After integration, we can get the instantaneous total phase angle phi is equal to integration of omega I into dt, means integration of this. So that is integration of omega c plus or minus 2 pi delta f cos of omega mt with respect to dt. Integration of this, we can get integration of omega c, it is omega ct plus 2 pi delta f constant, and integration of cos of omega mt is 1 upon omega mt sine of omega mt. So that's how we can write it, 2 pi delta f upon omega m into sine of omega mt. But we have omega m is equal to 2 pi fm. Thus, this equation can be written as omega ct plus 2 pi delta f upon 2 pi fm into sine of omega mt. 2 pi will cancel, and we can get the equation omega ct plus delta f upon fm sine of omega mt. Let me call this as equation number 7. But the instantaneous amplitude of the FM modulated wave is given as E mod is equal to capital EC sine of phi I. This phi I is represented by equation 7. Therefore, we can write E mod is equal to capital EC into sine of omega ct plus delta f upon fm into sine of omega mt. Let me call this as equation number 8. In equation number 8, there is a ratio delta f upon fm. It is a ratio of frequency deviation upon modulating frequency. It is called as modulation index of frequency modulated wave, and that is denoted by mf. Therefore, replace delta f upon fm by mf so as to get E modulation equal to EC sine of omega ct plus mf into sine of omega mt. Let me call this as the equation number 9. Equation number 9 represents the equation of the frequency modulated wave. Means equation number 9 represents these waveforms. These waveforms are plotted depending upon equation number 9. These are the carrier wave which are represented by using equation number 2, whereas this is the wave which is represented by using equation number 1. This is a modulating signal, these are the carrier wave, whereas this is the modulated wave, represented by equation number 9. Now when we expand equation number 9, we get several number of frequency components. Those number of frequency components are called as the frequency spectrum. Thus, frequency modulated wave contains infinite number of sidebands. Each sideband is separated by FM from each other. Out of these sidebands, only few sidebands carry the significant power. The remaining sideband have very low power and can get attenuated. Hence, they are not useful to carry the information towards the receiver from the transmitter. Usually, the sidebands having the power 5% of the amplitude of the carrier wave are significant, and hence those are only capable to carry the information from transmitter towards the receiver, whereas rest of the sidebands are going to be attenuated. This frequency spectrum of the FM modulated wave is represented here. If you look to this particular frequency spectrum, the number of sidebands changes with the change in modulation index. And as the modulation index increases, number of the sidebands also increases, but significant power in the sideband decreases. For modulation index equal to 0.5, sideband is 1. One is upper sideband, another one is the lower sideband. For modulation index equal to 1, there will be 2 upper sidebands and 2 lower sidebands. For modulation index equal to 2, the number of sidebands are 3 for upper as well as lower. For modulation index equal to 4, the number of sideband becomes equal to 5 in both the situations. But as the modulation index increases, significant power in the respective sidebands goes on decreases. Thus, from this particular frequency spectrum, these are the frequency components which are obtained by expanding the FM modulated wave equation, which makes you aware how these are responsible to carry the signal from transmitter towards the receiver itself. Dear students, that is what you have to remember about the frequency modulation and the frequency spectrum, along with the frequency modulated wave, its mathematical analysis, meaning of the modulation index associated with it, and the frequency components involved in it. So that's all about today's lecture, which is associated with the frequency modulation. So here we are completing almost all the concept of analog modulation. In the next period, we will start with the digital modulation concepts. Today we will stop here only.